Hello everyone, it's time for another ProGuides video. My name is Renox and I'd like to welcome you back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to take a look at the 5 things that Astralis did in order to become the best team in the world and win multiple majors in a short span of time. Throughout the last 2 years, Astralis have dominated the competition, and there was a long period of time where they just seemed to be unstoppable. Hopefully, after this video, you'll understand some of the steps that they took in order to reach the top, and maybe consider doing some of these things in your own teams as well. Before we get started, it's time for our question of the day. Today's question is, what is your favorite Astralis moment? For me, I think it was their win at the Atlanta Major in 2017 was definitely their biggest moment. After several years of failure, the core of Astralis were able to finally shed their choker labels and become a champion for many years to come. With that out of the way, let's get into some of the things that Astralis did in order to be the best team in the world. Starting off, let's talk about tactics and teamwork. Every team has a playbook of strats that they like to run, but Astralis has a lot of plays that involve things that haven't been seen a lot at the top level. Their in-game leader, Glaive, was very intelligent and had a very good understanding of the tactical side of Counter-Strike. Here's a good example of this. Typically, in a smoke execution, teams will wait for all of the smokes to land before going out onto the bomb site so that they won't get caught in a crossfire. However, Astralis like to go out before their smokes actually popped on certain rounds. Even though there would be a short window where they could get shot from angles that they were trying to block off, they were willing to take that risk. This way, they would be able to catch the enemy's insight off guard and be able to kill them. This would work because Glaive understood how his opponents behaved through watching a lot of demos. Not only is Glaive an intelligent leader, he's also not afraid to get his own hands dirty in the process. If you watch a lot of Astralis demos, you'll see plenty of rounds where Glaive goes in first and makes himself look like a fool, only for his teammates to come in and get 2 or more kills off of his play. He understands that his teammates are some of the best players in the world, and he's willing to sacrifice his own life in order to set them up to succeed in any given round. This level of selflessness, combined with Glaive's fantastical tactical understanding of the game, really puts into perspective how Astralis are able to outperform their opponents in more ways than just hitting their shots. They always work together as a team, flashing for each other and going for coordinated pushes on the CT side in order to give themselves enough of an advantage. Even though Astralis doesn't have all the best players in the world, their team play is able to overtake even the most skilled teams in the world. While Astralis' legacy is mainly defined by their tactics, team play, and grenade usage, there is no denying the top-level talent featured on their roster as well. Let's talk a little bit about each player and what they bring to the team. As mentioned previously, Glaive is arguably the best in-game leader in the history of Counter-Strike, but this doesn't mean that he can't frag. He's more than capable of stepping up and fragging out even if his teammates are struggling, which is a rare case among in-game leaders that featured a more structured and tactical style of calling. These sorts of leaders usually struggle with fragging, and Glaive being able to step up in this aspect makes him one of the most complete leaders in the game. The Astralis core have been playing together since 2013, and Dupree is one of the 3 members of this core. He's one of the best entry players in the game and has a very solid career in CSGO. The entry fragger's job isn't the flashiest, and it involves a lot of running in blind and dying first. However, the entry fragger is a very important role, and Astralis used Dupree very effectively as the first man in. Dupree creates space for his teammates and gets important information that the team uses to decide where to plant the bomb after getting these trade kills, where to set up in the post plant, and so much more. His role doesn't exactly get him the best stats on the team, but that doesn't stop him from being on top of the scoreboard every once in a while. The second member of Astralis' core is Device. In a sense, it almost feels like Device is underrated as an AWPer. You see players like Simple or Kenny S who are always getting super explosive rounds, hitting insane flicks or carrying their teams to victory. However, Device's style of AWPing is nothing like that. He plays his spot, gets information, takes a shot, and falls back, doing it all over again. This consistent style of AWPing doesn't always lead to highlight reel kills, but it gets the job done, and his role is understood by the rest of his teammates. While he definitely has games where he pops off and carries the team, that's not his main job. In a successful team, you don't need 5-star players to win. Looking at you, FaZe. You need 5 players who understand their roles and how to play together. Device's consistent use and effective AWPing style, along with the rest of Astralis, is a great example of this. While Zipnix hasn't been playing with the team as of recently, the third member of this core from 2013 has always been a player who has been effective at what he does, but hasn't really received the proper recognition for it until Astralis has become the undisputed best team in the world in 2018. He is a very effective support player who anchors positions, uses good positioning, and wins a lot of clutch rounds, and I mean a lot. Similar players of this style include Crims and MBK, although neither of these players have been able to stay in peak form for as long as Xyp9x. Dubbed the Clutch Minister a few years ago, he has a great understanding of the game and is great at reading his opponents in clutch situations. He always seems to be able to find a way to turn those 1v3 situations into 3 easy winnable 1v1s, winning a lot of important rounds for his team. Magisk is still technically one of the newest players on Astralis, even though he's been on the team for a couple of years now. A once-forgotten young talent, Magisk was brought onto the Danish lineup in order to bolster the fragging power of the team, and he was very successful. Magisk has effectively become the young star of the team, earning himself the number 7 spot in HLTV's top 20 player list in 2018 and the number 5 spot in 2019. Many doubted Magisk as he joined Astralis, but the world would soon understand that put in the proper role, Magisk was a force to be reckoned with. Nobody in today's scene doubts his skill, and his fragging power is still one of the driving forces behind the Danish squad's 3 consecutive major titles. Astralis is a team filled with skilled players who all understand their role in the team and work together in order to dominate the competition. One thing that most CSGO teams at the top level have in this day and age is a great coach, and Astralis is no exception to this statement. In fact, they might even have the best coach in CSGO. Astralis' coach, Zonic, is a very unique coach in several facets. He's an accomplished Counter-Strike 1.6 legend, and similarly to Glaive, has a great tactical understanding of the game. Zonic is also somewhat of a father figure to the team, as he had a rough childhood and got into a lot of trouble before finding himself in the world of Counter-Strike. He has a lot of life experience and uses those experiences to teach his players not only about being a good player and a good teammate, but also about being a good person in general. Not to mention, he also has a wife and his own kids to take care of. Another thing that makes Zonic different from all the coaches is that he still actively plays the game. In an interview, Zonic said that it's important for all coaches to sit down and play the game so that they can help the team innovate with grenades and strategies, as well as occasionally having to stand in for the team. Zonic actually did have to play with Astralis at the ESL Cologne 2016 Major, since Dupree was having surgery to remove his appendix after the first 2 group stage matches of the tournament. In order to qualify to the bracket stage, Astralis had to play with Zonic in a best-of-3 series against fellow Danish squad Dignitas. This match was really important because, according to Zonic, there were a lot of investors watching to see how Astralis would perform at a major, and losing Dupree was a huge blow. In the end, Astralis ended up winning the series, with Zonic getting a handful of actual impact kills and having a higher HLTV rating in the series than Dignitas' in-game leader, MSL. Zonic is the complete package, and the ideal coach that was and still is a major contributor to Astralis' continued success. One way that Astralis innovated CSGO at the top level was their insane level of grenade usage. If any of you watching have seen a professional team grenade stack to the boost spot on B side of Overpass, this was originally created by Astralis. Astralis understood that even though every top team uses grenades, they weren't using them to their full potential. Astralis have plenty of clips where they were able to get grenade kills in unique positions that a lot of teams have never done effectively in a match before. Astralis always seemed to have control of Banana on Inferno, smoking off the entrance and raining Molotovs and HE grenades every round. In fact, it was originally Glaive who proposed that the Molotov be removed or at least nerfed in the beginning of CSGO's lifespan because he understood how powerful it was. Because of his petitioning to Valve, they nerfed the Molotov and allowed it to be extinguished by smoke grenades. Although it didn't define their legacy, Astralis' innovative grenade usage was a big part of their path to success in CSGO. The reason I bring up the fact that 3 of Astralis' players have been playing together since 2013 is because of this next section. In the early days of CSGO, the Danish lineup always struggled to make it to the finals of majors, despite having the talent capable of doing so. Because of this constant failure, the core of Device, Dupree, and Xyp9x were all labeled as chokers. When the players were getting ready to prepare for the E-League Atlanta Major in 2017, the team sought out the help of a sports psychologist in an effort to end their legacy of failure. Finnish sports psychologist Mia Stelberg worked with Astralis in an effort to change their mindset regarding how they played the game and how they can finally get over the hump to win a championship. Stelberg helped raise the team morale and worked with each individual player to sort out their own mental strengths and weaknesses within the game. She treated them like athletes, making them exercise, watch their diets, and making sure that they were also in a proper physical condition to play, not just mentally. At the Atlanta Major, Astralis were able to break their semifinals curse by defeating Fnatic 2-0 and advancing to the Grand Finals, where they would face off against Virtus Pro, who had seemed unstoppable at the time. On the 3rd map of the match, Virtus Pro started with a huge lead. However, due to their newly found mental strength and their will to win, Astralis would come back and win their first ever major, finally shredding their choker label. They credit the vast majority of this win to Stelberg's work as a sports psychologist, and this event was a small preview of Astralis' future dynasty. Sometimes all you need to perform better is a change in mentality, and Astralis are a proof of that. With that being said, that's going to be the end of this video. Hopefully, this somewhat allowed you to gain a better understanding of how Astralis were able to reach the top of the Counter-Strike scene, as well as stay there. If you found this video to be informative, and if you enjoyed it, please be sure to leave a comment down below. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you don't miss any new content from the ProGuides team. If you want to take your game to the next level, then feel free to head on over to ProGuides.com. You'll have the ability to work with our expert coaches to get a personalized experience for improving your own game. If you want to brush up on the basics, we also have a handful of courses available for you. Best of luck in your competitive matches and have a great day, ProGuides family.